Okay, first thing I noticed when I run this is that we still have our big ass paddles and we still have our game speed showing in the top left corner. So let's fix that quickly. Our paddles were 16, if I remember correctly. And save. Open. At the end of draw, score. Here, for debug purposes, this line needs to come out as well. Okay, and run it. Cool. Yeah. Right, see this? This is a problem. If we leave this game unattended, it's just going to keep scoring for one of the players, which is not ideal. Because also, if we're busy playing the game and, you know, this person hits the thing and this person misses. Okay, bad demonstration. There we go. And now we're still busy going, oh man, that was such a good shot. You missed the shot. You nailed the shot. That was so cool. But the game's going and someone is scoring. So we need the game to wait a second. Oh, speaking of wait a second, what's going on here? Why is this hyphen not centered? Oh, because this score is 2 digits, this score is 1, and it's messing with the centering. Because the text is centered, it's just there's more stuff on the right than there is on the left. So we might have to rework this scoring thing in a future episode. Sorry that I quit out while explaining, but the sounds were getting annoying. Okay, but to our initial point, how do we make the game wait to start? Is this going to be a rudimentary game state? I think so. So, the same way that we have, where is it? The same way that we have a global that shows the score until something happens and then it stops. We're also going to track the state of the entire game. So we'll have a global called wait start. Why does it feel like these need to be... I'm just going to move them to the top of the file. Oh, we're still on Pong 7. Save Pong 8, because this is episode 8. So we wait for start. True. What do we want to happen while we are waiting for the start? Well, the main thing, if we go to TIC, is we don't want to read inputs because that's going to move the paddles. Actually, that'll still be fine. It's not the end of the world. Maybe we leave that one. But updates is what actually makes the game run. So we don't want to do updates. We don't want the ball to move. We don't want to check collisions. We just want it to sit and wait until we press the OK button on either side of the controller. So left for paddle 1 and B for paddle 2. We put those in. We just haven't been using them. So if wait underscore start, then space intentionally left blank for now. Otherwise, if we're not waiting for start, then we run the game as normal. Right? So if I run this, it'll read inputs so the paddles can move. Oh no, you know what this is going to do? The paddles can move, but only on updates do we move the paddles back. So in this case, the paddles can actually leave the field. Let me test my theory. Run. Okay, the game isn't moving, the ball isn't moving. I can move paddles because we are checking inputs, and it's in inputs that we move the paddles. But it's only on updates that we correct their position, which means at this stage, I can actually move the paddles off the screen. So, we're going to have to ignore inputs as well. That's one too many. There we go. Okay, so while we're waiting for start, we're still drawing, almost called it the battlefield. We're still going to draw the court, the field, the board. But we can't move paddles and the ball won't move, we won't check collisions or whatever. So it'll be in like a stuck state. Effectively, it'll look the same, but nothing will move. Good? Good? I really need to plug in a controller so that I can press the buttons on the controller, but it works. At least it works. We don't have a button that triggers it yet. So we're going to need a function called capitals inputs at the start. Do we need updates at the start? Nothing needs to update while we were looking at this that screen, right? Because it's not like we're going to have a menu that selects options. Maybe later? We'll come back to that. There's no point coding stuff now that we're not going to use. Okay, inputs start. So let's do it above our standard inputs. Function called inputs start end, before I forget. We can use this same code. Input start, we put this in for both paddles. If the button is pressed, that is our OK button, then we do something. We don't move the paddle because we're not going up and down. What we're going to do is change wait start to false, which will, on the next tick, skip this part and start running normal inputs and updates, all the while drawing the board to screen so it won't visually look different. So run it. Input start for we need the end for the for loop for each controller. Okay. Paddles don't move up and down. Paddles don't move up and down. But if I now press either left on the D-pad or B on the face buttons, the ball starts moving. Hey, it even works. Okay. That was easy. Maybe for clarity, input seems generic, so maybe we should rename this to inputs for game. And here as well, inputs for the game, and then updates for the can't type today. Updates for the game. So find updates and then rename it to updates for the game. Run it to see that nothing broke. Still can't move the paddles. Press a button, ball starts moving, and we can play. Okay. Didn't I put something in to print text to this screen, or did I rip that out now? Tick input start. Okay, we should probably put something on screen that shows that we're waiting to start. So, draw function. Hey, wait, no. We want to draw the map anyway. So, should we put an overlay? We run draw first to draw the board and the pieces and the map and the everything. Board and the pieces and the map. What game am I coding? This is Pong. Paddles, ball, center line, top and bottom line, and the score. Then, if wait start, then we draw let's call it draw start. As an overlay, because we are drawing the entire game anyway. Should I rename draw to draw game? Maybe. Just for clarity. Draw game, which means open the list of stuff, find draw, rename it to draw game. It exploded. Clear the screen, run it again. Oh, right, because we haven't implemented draw start yet. Let's do it under draw game. So where does this guy end? There, end draw game. Function draw start and end. Draw start. Maybe for now we just print just to make sure that it works. This should be 0, 0, 12. 12. This should now have text in the top left corner saying drawing start. Okay, and then it disappears because wait start has changed to false. What would you normally print? Ready. But we don't want it top left, we want it centered, the same way as the score. Maybe it's time we take that code, it's right here, this code that writes the text centered. What if this was if we refactor this into its own function that we can call from anywhere, and we send it the text and it prints the text to screen? Centered. Maybe provided a height as well, so that everything doesn't have to write in exactly the same spot. Okay, that's not a bad idea. So, let's rip out, we still need to, in show score, we still need to figure out the text for what we're printing, but then these two lines are effectively the lines that print text centered on the screen. So, print center. So, under our utilities down here, under pad hit, we put function, what did I call it? Print center. End. Okay. Paste it in here. Fix my indentation. Okay, score text doesn't exist here, so we need to send the text as a parameter. So let's just call it txt, and then here as well, txt. So now whatever we send to print center is going to print in the center of the screen at height 8. Maybe we send in the height, call it height, and then this will always print it at 2. It would be nice to have the option of printing things different sizes and always have it centered, so let's go scale. And then for both of these, remember it's important that both of these lines render the text identically, otherwise it's going to miscalculate the size in pixels before we print it. Okay, that should give us a generic function that we can send text, a height from the top of the screen. Let's rename this to Y position, and then a scale. And it'll print that text in white. Our game is black and white. We won't need to print in different colors. It'll print that text in white in the center of the screen horizontally, but the height, the Y position that we send it. Okay, now let me just quickly grab this definition. Go find in where we show the scores. That's in updates game. I'm going to have to get used to looking for that. No, wait, it's in draw, because it's score that we're drawing. Draw game. Show score. Here we go. So we calculate the text that we want to print, and then we call print center. Just put in a comment here so I can see what my thing is. The first thing we send it is text, so score text has to go. Oops. Inside the brackets. Then the Y position was 8, and the scale was 2, double size. Famous last words. If I run this, everything should be exactly the same. Okay, it shows ready in the top left corner now because we changed the text to ready, but it still renders the score and it centers it nicely at the same height that it was before. Hey, is this not the perfect thing to show on the ready screen? Because what's going to happen now is when we start the game, the ready disappears, but the score is still there for a bit. But if we're going to stop to let the players get ready for the next round, that is the perfect opportunity to show the score. So this little function, score, if show score, then blah, 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 blah. It's not a function. It's just a piece inside a function. We can actually rip out of here and put it in draw start. In other words, it'll show the score while we're waiting for the players to start. Let me run it. It'll show the score, and now as soon as I actually start the round, it disappears. Oops. Didn't we reset wait start? in the reset function? Because I mean, if we're going to... Oh, we didn't. Okay. We need to go back to the wait start game state when someone scores. Okay, go again. 3, 2, 1, go. Score disappears. We're playing. We're having fun. Let me just miss this. And we go back to ready state. Hey, and also the score updated. Cool. Do we need to track whether we're showing score or not? If it's just going to show on the ready screen, on the start screen. Draw start. This, if show score, is redundant because our wait start is controlling... What the? There we go. Wait start is controlling whether the score shows or not. And just for clarity, then show score up here can disappear. But we were manipulating show score in a few spots, so we need to take those out. Luckily, we only have, what, like 200 lines of code, so it's quick to go through it and check. In reset, we don't need to show the score. In... When do we hide the score? In updates, when we hit a paddle. So, options, updates. When we hit a paddle. Ball to paddle. Pad hit. Was it in pad hit? No, it's when we miss. Score. Here we go. In reset. Oh, okay. So we just set it. When do we make... You know what? Control F. Show. There it is. It isn't pad hit. Okay. Famous last words. Theoretically, if I run this, it should be fine. Ready? Go. Okay. The reason we created that print center, this print center function, is so that that ready text that we have in draw start, this print ready, we need to move to the center. So instead of calling print ready, I'm just going to comment it out for now. So what am I doing? Here we go. Let's go print ready. I can now go print center the word ready lower than the score. So the center of the screen is at 130. No, the full screen is 136 pixels tall. So slightly above center would be what, at about 100? Sure. What else do we need to send it? Y position and scale. Same scale as the score. Save. Hey, that looks good. Ball in the middle, score at the top, ready at the bottom. We also need to give instructions, don't we? So maybe move this up a little bit to make space. And then below this, print center left or B. Save. Oh, wait. Height, if that's at 80, this can be at 100. And scale 1, because it's longer text. So scale 1 means it'll be a bit shorter and it'll neatly line up. Run. That gap is a bit too big, but otherwise it looks fine. Left or B? Don't like that. 90? That's too close. 94? Yeah, that looks good. And everything is nicely centered. Okay. The score, we can move the score down a little bit, I think. That's really high up. So at the moment we're writing the score at 8. Let's move it down to 40. The ball looks like a full stop in the middle there, but 0, 0, little thing, ready, press left or B. Looks good.